Thank you everyone for joining me today. In 11 years of teaching highlighting techniques, two things haven't changed. The client's request for natural dimension and the hair colorist's constant attempt to find easy techniques to follow visit after visit. I'm Sophia Avera, salon owner of Sophia Avera Salon and Spa in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, and national educator for L'Oreal Professional, 11 years running. In my classes, I think a point of difference that sets me apart is that I find relatable techniques that are easy to apply and easy to remember. I am not only a hairdresser, but I'm also a Gemini, so I have a very short-term memory. And I've been to a lot of classes that inspire me and show me that the sky is the limit and show me that these stylists are more talented than anything I could ever imagine being on my own. But sometimes I forget what I've learned at the class and I'm too nervous to apply it in the salon the next day. So maybe it's just more so in my pocket for inspiration. But in my classes, I really want you to leave with the confidence to apply it the next day. So today I'm bringing you a 25-minute full foil technique, and I named it the Nikki. I love to name my techniques because it gives me something to post on social media. It also is kind of great if you name it after one of your favorite clients. This technique is bold in placement, and wherever you decide to start your line of insertion will determine how bold it will be at the root. So you can see I've pre-done the right side for you. It's absolutely gorgeous. It shows you how gorgeous the technique is, how easy it will be to follow, and yet how soft it can be on the root. So we'll make a couple decisions before we get started. We'll take a look at what tools do we need for the client. So one thing that I'm very proud of are my consultation skills. I'm constantly trying to think of easy, relatable questions for clients, and one of them is, how fast do you lift? That's something I often ask a new client, and maybe they'll say, geez, I don't know. I go, does the stylist come back to you 2 and 3 and 4 times asking you if you need anything else because your foils aren't done yet? And often they'll say, oh my gosh, yes, you're right. Or, no, I'm done usually pretty fast. That helps to guide me on which product to use. The wonderful thing about having L'Oreal Professional in the salon is that I have a wide range of lighteners using Blonde Studio. So today with the Nikki, we'll be using Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder. I'll start with 20 volume, and then as I work through, I'll add 30 volume. Now, because I've pre-done the right side, I'll just go through and show you the left side so you can see how I would apply the technique. My goal in all of my classes is not only to give you the confidence to apply a technique the very next day in the salon, but also give you the confidence to ask the client back for a second visit. A lot of salon owners, just like your salon owners, say that pre-booking is often something they wish their stylist would do more, and I find as a stylist, the only reason why I don't ask a client back on a second date is maybe because I'm too nervous that I can't replicate the look again. This might just be me, but I think it's hitting home for a lot of stylists. That's part of the big inspiration behind this technique was I wanted something that you could remember so that when you write those notes down for the client and say, I did the Nikki, you remember, oh, that's right, I know exactly where that placement is. This is going to be so easy for me to replicate. And now I can confidently say, please come back in 8 weeks so that I can do the exact same thing. And if there's someone who is over foiled to begin with, which is a lot of the new clients I meet in my chair, they are asking for that natural dimension to be further down their hair. And the only way that I can do that is to create a pattern and follow at each visit. So I think we should give it a shot. Okay, so I've taken, and similar to a haircut, I like to pre-section my highlights. So in this highlight, we're going to put in what's called foil sandwiches. So it's a big, bold piece of highlight, 3 foils stacked. The top is going to be a weave, the middle a slice, and then the underside is a weave. So when the client's hair moves, the slice is softened by the weaves around it. However, when the hair is down, like you could see on the right side, it's a nice, big, bold ribbon. This is also suitable for clients who you really want to give that balayage, beautiful ribbon, but they won't lift quite enough with open air processing and you need the support of a foil. Or maybe they have dark hair color in their ends and that foil will help. Okay, so today with Nikki, I'm going to choose to use a Salon Studio 9 with bonder and 20 volume. I love the way the oil developer slides onto the foil. It's so seamless. All right, let's get started. Our first section is pre-sectioned. We'll do two things. We're going to take a deep weave out of the top and clip it up. That's my pre-section clip. And then a deep weave out of the bottom. Okay, so this gives her softness and support on this big, bold piece. Soft weave here, soft weave there. Now, depending on how much hair is in my hand, I'll either slice it in half or in thirds. In this case, I only need to slice it in half. I'll use a large size foil. And I don't know if you're like me, but I like to actually prep the foil with lightener first, just to guide me on where I want to place the highlight. And also it just gives it a little bit of stick. So we'll prep the foil and set it right down like that. You can see this way, the lightener is already telling the foil where to go and it's giving me a guide. I like to choose my line of insertion based on the look. The right pre-done side, I angled all of my foils so that they had like a nice soft line of insertion and went just off the root. Now I do have clients who love a 90s look and they are more than happy to do this whole look all the way up to the root. But today, let's go slightly off for that soft lived-in balayage look. So we're going to secure the foil right in the middle. And just lightly soften up. Now the unique thing about this look is that we are not going to fold the foils, we're just going to stack them on top. Okay? Now I already have my pre-section piece, which makes this really easy. And this hair is going to go right on top of the next one. So I've got my Blonde Studio 9 with bonder. Paint it directly on top of the other foil. Salon owners, this is wonderful for you because it saves space on the cart. It saves money because you're not overusing foils. And it's easy to monitor and look at on the client's head. Okay, so we have done what I call my first sandwich. I like to be polite to the client, so I'm going to fold the client's foil out of their face. Remember, the first one is horizontal and the rest are going to be diagonal. Did I tell you that? I can't remember. Okay, so now remember, the technique lends itself very well to pre-sectioning. So if I look at how much hair is in this foil, I want to make sure to match it to the front. So I'm going to leave out that front piece, pull it back, and do exactly the same thing. Remember, we first take a large weave out of the top of the section. That creates softness for the foil sandwich. Clip it back. And then the underside is the exact same thing. Let's see if I can do this with my different angle. Okay, now naturally you'll want to foil that piece. However, in the Nikki, that's the part you don't foil first. You foil everything behind it. So this entire piece is going to be lightened. Okay. I'll slide this section in half. That ensures that I don't have too much hair. If you still feel like you do, just take a little bit more away. Easy breezy. Now I've got my section ready. Let me hide the underneath just to get it out of my way. Prepare my foil so that I remember what kind of line I want to create. Take my hair, set it directly on the foil. For some of you, you use a foil board that works really well for this. And then just soften up. So remember, the unique pieces of this technique, the standout reasons to use it, the reasons it could change your game behind the chair is that it's easy to follow. So you want to take a big, bold enough section so that next time they come in, you can go, hey, oh, that's right, I did the Nikki and I remember exactly where those foils were so that I can follow them again. Okay, so we have our first one done. Remember, the second piece of hair goes right on top of the foil. This reduces the amount of foils we use. Cost effective. And just take the hair that was pre-sectioned, fold it right down. The nice thing about the lightener is it's going to give you a little bit of grip. Okay. The oil developer really helps with the Blonde Studio 9 to just soften and glide right on. Now, I'm choosing not to go all the way up to the root with my line of insertion. However, this technique can be altered in any way that you want. You can go all the way to the root, halfway down the hair strand, or even closer to the bottom. Okay, so we have our front section done. And we just want to be polite, so neatly fold it back. And we'll continue through the entire head this way. This technique usually requires, oh, I don't know, maybe 4 sandwiches on top, 4 sandwiches on the bottom, and we're done. It's a 25-minute foil technique that gives bold, beautiful placement with lots of flexibility. So I also want to use my eyes visually and determine how much natural dimension I want to leave in between, right? Because that's part of the challenge is if the client says, I want to see some more natural, well, you have to leave enough out in order to be able to follow it. And then I'm looking at this piece going, yeah, I think this is about the right amount because I want the light bolder than the natural, so I wanted to make sure that it's a little bit more hair. This will be our next section. Remember, you take a weave out of the top, and that one won't be colored. That's going to be our softness. And then a weave out of the bottom, leaving softness. Now, when she flips her hair around, that creates a little bit of versatility. It feels like I need to split this section in half in order to make it manageable and get the color all the way through. I'll clip this just to prepare, ooh, a little slippery, my foil. So when I'm going into classes, I have 2 pieces of motivation. One, I want to inspire the stylists to be excited about their job, try something new, and have something to post on social media. But 2, I also want to inspire the salon owners like you. So my challenge for you leaving this class today is to create a bingo board for the break room. And on that bingo board, I would say to use 3 different things. Pre-booking, because we're confident now enough to ask the client to come back, and also consultation, and then maybe putting the Nikki on the bingo board to entice your staff to try this technique as soon as possible. I don't know about you, but I love receiving hair tools, so that's always a great bingo win in our salon. Okay, so making sure the product is thoroughly applied through the hair. There's many techniques to soften the line of insertion. You can just use the blend of your brush. You can back comb, tease, so many good options. Okay, put the foil right on top. And then I already have my pre-section piece all set and ready for me. Take a look and make sure, yep, that's the right amount of hair. Saturate the foil. And then we'll pull the hair down. Perfect amount of stick. A couple of things to note when I'm teaching this technique in classes is that it's so natural to leave negative space between the highlights. With the Nikki, you don't want to leave negative space between the highlights. What gives you that bold, beautiful look you're seeing on this finish on the right side, see how much natural dimension and pop that has? The only way to get that is to leave hair in between and stack the foils together. Also, when you take this out, you have this awesome versatility of running your fingers through and not worrying about getting the lightener on the other negative space that you don't want to touch. We're going to go through and do one more section, and we're already almost done with the top. So again, for those of you just sitting there wondering, oh my gosh, how am I going to apply this on a client? It's very easy. All you have to do is decide, where do I want my line of insertion? Do I want it at the root? Do I want it at the mid-lengths or closer to the ends? And then also, how much do I want to see? How bold do I want this technique? That will help you determine how much you want in each section. So with the look I chose, we're doing 1/2 inch sections because I really want noticeable bold pop. The picture the clients show me on a regular basis seem to have a lot of dimension. And then take our first piece down. You see how preparing the foil really allows me to outline my workspace? Let's see how good I can be from this angle. Okay, soften up and just make sure it's nice and saturated. And we'll stack a foil right on top. And remember, the habit would be to leave this hair in between, but we don't want to. We want this piece to be highlighted as well to get that big, bold ribbon. Okay, so already we're starting to notice where the ribbons are going to land with our haircut. This is amazing. It's so simple and my clients absolutely love it. Remember, especially when I name it after them. So let's take a look at the final one more time. How bold and gorgeous is that? This technique is called the Nikki. It's a 25-minute full foil technique that is very easy for you to apply behind the chair starting tomorrow. You can even use lowlights in between if you need to break some up. This has been awesome. I hope that you are confident enough to use it starting tomorrow. I hope that you're confident enough to ask your client back for a second visit. I would encourage you to use Blonde Studio 9 with Bonder from L'Oreal Professionnel. It is the perfect glide on this technique. And I look forward to seeing the results from your work. So thank you so much for joining me with class today. Again, my name is Sophia Avera. I work for L'Oreal Professionnel, and I am so proud to have brought you the Nikki, a beautiful technique that's gonna change your game behind the chair. You can do it. I have faith in you. Please visit me at @SophiaColor on Instagram. Send me videos. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Thank you, everyone.